program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca, and as the hostess of this program, I am excited to help give you just a little glimpse of what is possible as an empowered individual, where you start taking more authority in your own wellness instead of giving it all away. And I am honored to be able to bring this program to you. This is a resource for an amazing community of people who are health coaches, health advocates, people who just care about people and want to make sure that they know that there are options out there that the body can actually utilize. And when the body is given the right ingredients that it absolutely needs, you can go from surviving and just getting through a day to thriving and looking forward to tomorrow. That's what this program is all about. And I believe that is part of what the founder and the doctor that we feature here on this program, who is the main doc of Daily with Doc and Becca, had in mind. As a young boy, he had some struggles, but he was very observant. He also took those observations and took action. So when you observe something, you take action, and having an analytical mind, making note of what works and doesn't work, and then taking that on into a career. This man is just absolutely fantastic, folks. And for those of you who have kiddos that you really worry about, there is hope, because they also can do some great things. But today we are going to be focusing on one of his first discoveries. And it was, yes, in animals and in a flock of sheep, but it directly relates to us as humans. So before we get too far into this, I want to just make sure that If you are out on any of the different live stream platforms and you'd like to join us live, you are more than welcome to do so. We are here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time, and then just figure it out, minus or plus an hour, wherever you're at. And we're here for you because you are important. No matter what anybody else says, you have value. And the fact that you're listening to this program, you're investing time in yourself, gives just a little bit of glimpse into the value that you have for yourself. So now 10 times that, okay? Because we often don't think so much of ourselves, and that plays into our health as well. My name is Becca Dukes. As the hostess of this program and the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, it is my great honor to be able to introduce to you the man of the hour, the doctor who started out treating animals and then brought some back from almost extinction, and now is helping humankind in the same way. Dr. Joel Wallach. He is also the man who has proven the genetic theory of disease transmission to be incorrect. And one of the things that he did that helped him prove that was discovering that cystic fibrosis is not just a human genetic disease. So not only is it not human, right, Doc? It's not genetic.
Correct.
And you, many years ago, proved this. And you have been working hard to make sure that all mankind knows that they can do more in their own health journey than they think they can. So, Doc, let's go back to that first discovery where they dumped 50 lambs in your lap while everybody else was on Christmas break. You were just starting out or not too long into your veterinary program or your Bachelor of Science into plant and soil medicines. You were working in the pathology lab. Tell us a little bit about what you found, because we're going to be addressing that great divide that has to do with the thyroid.
Okay. Well,
and the importance of the thyroid.
okay.
So take it away, Doc.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was a student and doing, all the routine stuff in the pathology lab, autopsy after autopsy after autopsy, all the farm animals, all the laboratory animals and humans. And so it was quite an experience. And this one day in the fall, I think it was in the fall, and they dumped 50 dead lambs in my lap. Okay, it was only a small portion of the flock that had died. The entire flock, over 100 of them died in one night. They were perfectly normal the day before. And they thought some terrorist had poisoned them or something, this and the other. Well, I did the autopsies in each and every one of them. And I took home probably 10, put in the freezer, because they didn't have any poisons in them. They had enlarged thyroid glands. They all died of hyperthyroidism, and they died of hypothermia. Their thyroids couldn't maintain their metabolism when the temperature dropped, below freezing. And for sheep with winter levels of wool on them, they should have been able to tolerate that with no problem. But the whole flock died in one night. They were perfectly normal during the day. And when the ranch owners woke up and went out to feed them, they were all dead. Okay, so I did the autopsy. They all had thyroid issues. That's because they were drinking water that had nitrates in it. And nitrates put pressure on the thyroid gland. And so this is one of my first big scientific papers. And it taught me a lesson. When you have things that show up in a community, the answer is going to be simple. When you have answers show up in a community, the answers are going to be very simple. So just calm down and look at all the facts in front of you. And so just check the temperature outside. Oh, it was 25 degrees. And then it dropped at midnight to like 8 or something like that. And the entire flock died in just hours from hypothermia. And they had 4 inches of wool on them. Okay. So that was a lesson for me that, you know, what you see and what you expect doesn't always come true. And of course, I think it was the last couple of days, we've been talking about the metabolic syndrome with, let's see here, obesity, people with metabolic syndrome have high blood pressure, they have diabetes, they have hypothyroidism, low thyroid, okay? And the metabolic syndrome, they can have all kinds of stuff, abdominal obesity. And this is a big problem. Makes up 25% of the American human population has the metabolic syndrome. And most of them are related to racial, okay, and ethnic communities, because it's what they eat, what they don't eat, how they cook, how they don't cook, which is totally different than everybody else. And that's why it looks at one bunch of people. Now, I talked about this briefly the other day, but I was also talking about the porpoises and dolphins and the whales and these big aquariums around the world that were dying of congestive heart failure. Why would animals be dying of congestive heart failure? They're being fed fish just like they eat out in the wild. Well, it turns out that the fish that they were being fed were not from where the porpoises and dolphins are from. And of course, they were cheap. And so these aquariums bought them to feed the animals. But they had in their tissues thymidase, an enzyme that destroys thiamine, the vitamin thiamine B1. And they're all dying from congestive heart failure. Okay. So I made them change the fish they were getting. And the fish that they were getting, we put the 90 essential nutrients in it, including a large load of vitamin B1. We made a supplement product, okay? And the supplement product was for humans with congestive heart failure, okay? Because it's very simple nutritional deficiency of thiamine B1. And let's see here. What's it called in humans?
The
product?
de-stress.
Yeah, de-stress. Capital D like David, stress. Okay. It's just the Healthy Start Pack, okay, the 90 essential nutrients with more B1 added to it. And you don't hear anybody talking about congestive heart failure anymore because of that program we started. And that pretty much ended congestive heart failure in animals and people. Okay, de-stress, absolutely. Very good, you get an A+. Okay. Now, the same thing is true when you're talking about hypothyroid and hyperthyroidism. And this goes along with the metabolic syndrome, okay? And they have low levels of the minerals, okay? They have low levels of the minerals, particularly iodine, okay? Their thyroids get all unhappy and they don't get enough iodine, and they can't deal with all the other things going on. And so you wind up with all these things. And of course, we had to watch how we named it, put it on the market. Remember, it's one of those things where I wasn't an ND yet. I was still working my veterinary degree. And it's one of those things where, so we call it de-stress. And nobody could argue with that. And so I take 3 of those twice a day, along with my other stuff. Okay, de-stress. Now, in a couple of months, I'll be turning 85. and I don't have congestive heart failure or anything of that nature. And and that is getting rid of a hypothyroid problem, okay, and a hypogoiter problem, hypothyroid problem, okay. And it's one of those things where this is all simple stuff. It's just basic nutrition. And most doctors don't get enough, they don't get enough training in nutrition. Okay, just eat well, you get everything you need. I've heard them say it to patients. I just want to go out of the room and cry. But they tell their patients, I said, sir, did you want to add anything to that? No, just eat well and get everything you need. Okay, well, that was their office. And so I wasn't going to make any remarks. But when I went back to my own place, I said, this has got to be dealt with. And so this is why we came up with the Ocean's Gold, okay, to make sure that the nutrients were available properly, okay, for humans, okay. And it's one of those things where it never fails. When you give the human body what it needs, it works, okay. And so again, let's see here. Then the same thing is true when you have metabolic syndrome. That can be made worse or driven by hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism. That's where you get the weight on you. Hyperthyroidism, okay. You've got so much thyroid working, okay, that it's one of those things where you lose your ability to maintain weight because your thyroid's telling you, do something, exercise. And this is why people with hyperthyroidism tend to be very slim, okay? And it's not uncommon for it to go along with diabetes, arthritis, and blood pressure issues, digestive issues. And of course, a couple of things I like to throw in there. One is the, I like to throw in the stuff, okay?
The stuff.
Yeah, the
God,
stuff.
there's so much stuff that longevity offers. So when we're talking about thyroid, I know that it also is regulated by the hypothalamus. The pituitary gland works in there as well. What about the hypothalamus support in our Good Herbs line added to a brain and heart pack?
Okay, yeah, I have that here on my desk. And so also they need to make sure when they have hypothyroidism that they're getting the iodine, okay? And it's one of those things where it just turns around almost overnight in 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And where did I put that thing? I know I put it up here somewhere.
Well, and also within the hypothalamus support, Dr. Wallach, it has adaptogens that help the body to adapt to where it needs to be with the thyroid. So one of my questions for you, you had mentioned iodine and hypothyroidism. Is iodine something that's missing or you need as much of with hyperthyroidism?
Okay, well,
How does iodine play in there?
Okay, well, that's a good question. Well, you still need your iodine when you have hyperthyroidism, okay? But hyperthyroidism can be driven by other things, okay? And just like the weather, okay? If the weather is too cold, it'll cause hyperthyroidism. Your thyroid will go crazy trying to keep up with the cold weather, okay? And I found my paper here with the hypothalamus support. And so the hypothalamus support contains a proprietary herbal blend of organic and wild-crafted herbs that help support healthy thalamic, pituitary, and adrenal glands, plus feeds the endocrine system and provides glandular support. Okay, this is called the hypothalamus support, and of course, this came out many years ago, long before we had the I-26. And so, if you have hypothyroidism, okay, you want to add the I-26, okay, which rebuilds the myelin, white matter of the brain and spinal cord. Also, you want to add this hypothalamus support, okay, and it's one of those things where you're coming at it from 2 or 3 different directions, and stay away from foods with nitrates and nitrates. That's why we have the good food, bad food list. Very important. The nitrates in the preserved meats will actually interfere with the function of the thyroid gland. Okay.
So processed and prepared meats, you're talking about things like lunch meat.
Yes.
And
Bacon, ham, lunch meats, hot dogs.
Hot dogs, sausages, all of those things that you find packaged, ready to eat. You don't have to heat, and you can take it right out of the package now. I know that they're having more and more products that are nitrate free with their processing or uncured. Is that a little bit better?
That's a little bit better. Okay. So, for instance, we eat frozen elk meat, we eat frozen deer meat, we eat frozen wild pig meat, we eat frozen fish, all that kind of stuff. But we don't eat any preserved.
Right. The only processing on that is cut it up, put it in the freezer. There's
That's
no
correct.
not or grinding it up.
Yeah, there's no chemicals.
So when we talk about the processing, it's adding those chemicals. Even the ones that are said to preserve it are not always healthy for us.
That is correct.
Okay. So there's a lot that we need to really pay attention on when we're looking at our food.
Yep. That's one thing I want to mention just a little bit more on the I-26. The I-26 rebuilds the hypothalamus.
And how does it do that, Doc?
The hypothalamus is mostly the white matter of the brain.
Okay. So with the I-26 and having that good cholesterol in there that the liver is able to convert into myelin that is around our nerves and our spinal cord and our brain for
That's
protection.
Correct. And see, remember I said that this hypothalamus support was made, I believe, many years ago. It's a great product. You can still use it along with the I-26. Okay. That's going to make things work better and be more cooperative with the rest of your brain and so forth and so on. And that's a good thing to have this option to add to your program. But the I-26 and the myelin, it's like crazy. Right now, for instance, this just happened just a couple of weeks ago. And that is the number of new cases. Okay. The number of new cases of
Parkinson's
disease.
Which we have Chris out here on YouTube who has been diagnosed with that. So we have a question coming up on that as well.
Okay. But anyway, it used to be for 100 years. Okay, Parkinson's disease occurred at a rate of about 60,000 new cases a year in America alone. 60,000 new cases of Parkinson's disease each year alone in America. Well, just a couple of weeks ago, it popped up to 90,000 new cases for last year. 90,000 new cases. And so everybody's freaking out because they thought it was a genetic disease. No, it's not genetic. It's a simple nutritional deficiency disease. And doctors did that in 1899, 1883, 1900, when we went to electricity. We had been using wood as fuel and coal as fuel for 2,000 to 3,000 years and more. And people would use the ashes from the wood stoves and fireplaces and fire pits. They would use the ashes from the coal, put them in their gardens because it had the minerals in it and made the gardens grow better. They would also put it in their food because it had the minerals in it, and it would add many health years to your life. When you look at the Hunzas in the Himalayan mountains, their life expectancy is 120. They don't have a single medical doctor in Hunza. They don't have a single medical doctor. They're mountain people, but they get that glacial milk, which they irrigate their fields with. They drink it, and they're getting all those minerals from the mountains. And then we in America, we have all the best doctors in the world. We spend more money for medical care than any other country in the world. And we rank 47th in longevity. There's 53 other countries who live longer than us.
Yeah, so that's the bottom side of the top 50, Doc. You would think if we were spending that much money on our healthcare to be well, we'd be higher up on the list.
Yeah, we should be number one.
But it's not, it doesn't have to do with the cost of healthcare or the prescriptions that are available. What does it have to do with?
Well, it has to do with we're not taking vitamins and minerals like we should. Most people say, well, I take vitamin C. Okay, I take vitamin C.
Or calcium.
And I take calcium. And that's about it. Okay, the doctor says, don't waste your money on vitamins and minerals. Just eat well, you get everything you need. Well, that may have been true 2,000 and 3,000 years ago, but not now. And so people have to say, okay, let's just look at the facts here. And we rank 47th in the world in longevity. And the Hunzas, they don't even put them on the list because they're so high above everybody else. But the Asians, okay, there's like three types of Asians that are listed number 1, 2, and 3 on the longevity list for humans. And that's because, not because they have better doctors, but it's because they're eating and drinking all these minerals from the ocean, the seaweed, these glacial milk, and so forth. They're getting their minerals that way. And many of them, they're living out in the boonies. They don't even have access to doctors. And yet they live to be 85, 95, 110, all that kind of stuff. We're paying all this money, billions of dollars, okay, just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis. Three communities together, the United States, Canada, and the UK, we spend $6.5 trillion a year just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis, not to prevent it or cure it.
Well, can we circle back to the thyroid, Doc?
Yes.
Because I know you had said that there was pressure put on the thyroid. What type of pressure would cause a goiter?
Okay, well, it's a deficiency of iodine. Okay, and it could be.
Is it iodine, or I know in your research you had noted that it was like nitrite poisoning because of the runoff of the fields around into their water.
Nitrates interfere with the functioning of the thyroid.
And that's what they add into processed and cured meats.
That's correct. And that's why we have so much trouble, because we're eating all that processed meats, we're drinking all this carbonated stuff, we're eating so much sugar, and it's not a genetic thing. Okay, we rank 47th in the world.
Now you mentioned eating. So I know with thyroidism, and maybe you can help me out with whether it's hypo or hyperthyroidism, they say to stay away from the cruciferous vegetables. So we're talking like the kale, the broccoli, the spinach. Those are all healthy things, but they're saying for people who are struggling with thyroid issues to stay away from them. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, they probably have nitrates from fertilizers in them, in those vegetables. They don't have iodine in them, okay, because in the fields that they're growing in, they only have some potassium and some calcium and some iron. That's about it.
And nitrate is a fertilizer that's used in some large scale farming.
That's correct.
So that makes sense. So what would you recommend for somebody who is dealing with hyper and hypothyroidism, or not and, but or? Would it be the same product recommendations, or is there something that needs to be adjusted between the two?
Well, they need to get off all the gluten, no wheat, by rye oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, get rid of all the bad stuff, the nitrates. So that they're all working on a level field, so to speak, okay? Then they can absorb the nutrition. Don't forget the I-26. Don't forget the hypothalamus support. They're great products.
And the
And it wouldn't
oceans,
hurt. Ocean's Gold. Yep, Ocean's Gold. And it can be used in both the low thyroid and the high thyroid, hyperthyroidism. Okay. Because a lot of times the hyperthyroidism will be running because the bad stuff is pushing the thyroid gland to do something. And the thyroid gland is still deficient in something. They're being toxic from something, you know, one of the fertilizers or something like that.
so something else that I understand, Dr. Wallach, is the thyroid puts out a hormone, and that's controlled by the hypothalamus and pituitary glands. And hormones are so important in, like, estrogen and
Testosterone.
if you don't have that cholesterol or those essential fatty acids to support its production, it's not where it's supposed to be.
That's correct. And so you
So
can have all that stuff. You can have hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism. You can have sexual problems because you're not getting enough product or nutrients for the ovaries to work and the testicles to work. And you can have also the, as you say, the hypothalamus, pituitary, they need their raw materials to make what they need. And so this is why we came up with the I-26. The I-26 was a big step forward. It covers a lot of territory. And anything that requires a happy relationship with myelin in the brain and the hypothalamus, the pituitary glands, the anything to do with the brain and the glands, hormones, sex hormones. Okay, you want that I-26.
yes, absolutely. And what that 26 represents, Dr. Wallach, are the 26 different pathogens that it's also been found to help the body eliminate from the body. And these pathogens can be things that are keeping you and your gut from being able to thrive.
Yeah, well, the I-26 gets rid of those 26 pathogens.
Those 26 pathogens, absolutely. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that it does. And that is why we have started to recommend that here on the Daily with Doc show. As I found the great value and importance in it, I wanted to Dr. Wallach to fill it and get the idea and everything and the information about it as well. So, and the hypothalamus support also helps support the adrenal glands. So the adrenal gland, when it comes to feeling tired all the time, being able to, work through stress.
Yeah,
There's
the
a lot.
adrenal glands are necessary to survive stress. It tells you when to run, when to stay.
So, we don't look at one or two things. We look at the body as a whole, folks. That's why Dr. Wallach always starts with the 90 essential nutrients. And then depending on what deficiencies have been going on within your body, he adds to the nutrient, to the protocol, the nutrients that will help support the body and being able to do what the body was designed to do. But that's through putting together nutrients that synergistically work together with the right balance that the body can actually absorb, and not just balance, but in a form that the body can absorb and utilize. So, Dr. Wallach, let's talk real quick about Parkinson's. We already talked about the I-26, how that it supports the the myelin around the brain,
Mhm.
around the nerves, the spinal cord. With Parkinson's, there's so many different symptoms. What is your intake or your input? And I know we have a case study, folks, that has the results of a woman, 75 years old, who for 11
Madeline.
years,
I think it's Madeline.
yeah, for her privacy, Doc,
Well, she's
um,
been published. There's no privacy for her.
okay. For 11 years, she had been told she has Parkinsonism based on their battery of tests, and had been put on a program, not just a program, but pharmaceuticals to help manage those symptoms.
That's right.
And one of our great coaches, Kim, had been seeing her. She does other modalities within health. So she had been working with Madeline and got her on a protocol that was very strong in the 90, the I-26, and the synaptive. And within 2.5 months, Dr. Wallach, when she had that 12-year annual exam, she no longer had those symptoms.
After 12 and a half years. Yeah.
So I think that's absolutely fantastic and encouraging for so many, since there has been such a rise in the yearly new cases.
50% increase.
Well, if you go from 50 to 90, that's not quite.
No, you went from there. We went from 60 to 90.
So I guess, half of 60 is 30. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Why should I doubt you? You are the man. Well, Doc, we have lots of questions, and another question that I have, well, let's go to AJ. AJ has his hand up, and then I'll go to questions that I have that have been written in. So AJ, what question are you bringing to the screen today?
Hey, Dr. Wallach.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Doing well, sir. Thank you. We have a couple questions out on YouTube. Valerie thinks that Valerie has been on a 90 for about 8 years, but she thinks she may have Hashimoto's. So our first question is, she's 5'2" and weighs 148 pounds, and she takes levothyroxine, 88 micrograms. And she's wondering what she can do for this hypothyroidism issue she's been having for 25 years.
Okay. Well, get rid of all the bad foods which interfere with absorption and utilization of good nutrients. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. That one's got to go. And 140 something pounds, I wanted to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose of everything twice a day. Then for the thyroid issue, I wanted to have Ocean's Gold. Take 3 of those 3 times a day in the beginning. As things get better, we can reduce it a little bit. But let's start out with 3, 3, and 3 of the Ocean's Gold. And I also want her to have our enzymes to take 2 or 3 of our enzymes. I'd go for 5 to 10 minutes before each meal. Okay, that's why she's going to maximize her absorption of this stuff. And if she has pain in her joints and stuff like that in her back and her neck, because she didn't mention anything like that, she does, and she can use a CM cream topically on those. Okay, so that would be a program for her.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything for her.
One more quick question. Hunter wanted to know if the cruciferous vegetables are organic, do you think that they would have an adverse effect on the thyroid?
Well, if they're organic, that just means that there's no toxic fertilizers or toxic chemicals being put in. But we don't know what's in the soil there, because plants cannot make iodine. Okay, plants cannot make minerals. If they're not in the soil, the plant doesn't pick them up. And so the only way you can guarantee you're going to get these minerals, since you're not using wood and coal as fuel anymore, you have to take the 90 essential nutrients and then take the, I'd go ahead and take the Ocean's Gold, and this is a female, right?
Well, this was a general question from a male.
A male, okay. If it's a male, I'd also throw in the ZRadcal for the male, 2 or 3 of those twice a day, ZRadcal. And don't forget the I-26. I like the chewables. I like the French vanilla, but there's also a banana coconut, which is very nice.
Okay.
And since I'd have him take, again, 3 of the, he weighs pretty much like me, so I'd have him take 3 of the chewable I-26, and that's going to help with these problems.
Thanks for all you do, Doc.
Well, thank you, sir. We're a team, and we appreciate all the things that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, AJ. Now, Dr. Wallach, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about kidneys. You have done a lot with kidneys, and I have a question coming in here in regards to advanced stage chronic kidney disease, okay? Now, the medical establishment has certain dietary restrictions for people that are stage 3, stage 4, where they are saying to avoid high protein foods, particularly those with animal sources like chicken and beef. Now, this person's mom, she weighs 85 pounds, and they're recommending that she only takes in about 0.6 grams per kilogram. So that's about what, 0.6 grams per 2 pounds, which would be about 23 grams, which doesn't seem like very much, Dr. Wallach. My morning shake has 30 grams.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 grams of what?
30 grams of protein.
Oh, okay.
And they're also saying that many fruits and vegetables are also to be avoided or consumed because of their potassium and phosphorus levels. What are your thoughts on this?
What's her main complaint? What disease?
Kidney failure, chronic kidney disease, stage 3.
Stage 3, chronic kidney failure. All right. Well, that's why we have Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Your kidneys do several things. Number one, it moderates and modulates and controls your blood pressure. People don't know that. Okay. Your kidneys also detoxify your blood and puts all the poisons and bad stuff into your urine, so you urinate them out of your body. And so that's 2 of the main things that the kidneys do. So we came up with a program to get rid of all the bad stuff, take your 90 essential nutrients, but then we have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I only weigh 142, and I take 3 twice a day, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets.
But you don't take it because you have kidney disease.
No, I have it because I want to make sure I'm getting rid of all the bad stuff. Okay, but if you don't have to have kidney disease to take it, especially if you work around people with chemicals and colds and that sort of stuff. And I take a lot of supplements. And so that's what I would do, is add to the program the Ultimate Daily Classics. And that's going to take, it drops blood pressure. It'll get the blood pressure down into the normal range. It beats prescription drugs by 1,000,000 miles. Okay, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. It'll help you get your blood pressure normal because your kidneys control the blood pressure. Okay, it'll help you get rid of the bad stuff because that's what kidneys do. And it will also help you get your blood pressure down because the kidneys also deal with blood pressure.
So what about when they tell you to limit your potassium and phosphorus?
Find another doctor.
Because I know that's common, especially for people that are on dialysis. They're
Yes.
always saying no potassium, and they even put them on potassium and phosphorus binders to prevent that. What's the importance of potassium and phosphorus in the body?
Well, they're two essential minerals. They help the metabolism of every cell in the body.
And if you block that or limit that,
You're interfering with the body's metabolism in all organs and systems. Why would you want to do that? Well, maybe they have kids in college and tuitions do. I don't know.
well, I don't know. I would hope,
You'd like to
Dr.
think, you'd like to think that that's not true.
Yeah, I would hope that that's not the case, or that they're not just trying to keep them on dialysis. But if their body's not getting all the nutrients and they don't have those supporting cofactors for the body to be able to utilize those nutrients, also, is that
That's right. The kidney can't do its job without all those nutrients. The kidneys require 90 essential nutrients and extra, okay, and extra of the things that are involved with the processes that it deals with was lowering blood pressure and getting blood to flow through blocked arteries in the brain and the heart and the kidneys and itself, get rid of the toxic substances, both organic and inorganic, so you can urinate them out. The kidney is, those two kidneys are busy day and night. They're working hard while you're asleep.
yeah, so we want to definitely keep them happy and avoid what, Dr. Wallach? What foods would you avoid?
Fried foods, processed meats, oils, glutens, wheat, brown, rye oats, buckwheat, sugar, carbonated drinks, even the diet one's got to go.
All right, there you got. Because right there behind the increase in Parkinson's, I think there's an increase in people having chronic kidney disease and going on dialysis at epidemic levels, and is not needed. So that's one of the reasons why, folks, that I do this program, because I have had a family member who was in kidney failure, who was on dialysis, and we got her to the point where they were saying, well, you got to stop what you're doing because there's nothing for us to take off. And she was urinating again. And that's why there was nothing. Her kidneys were functioning again. All of her numbers were looking beautiful. So that's the goal, isn't it? As a doctor, doctor?
Yeah, and the doctors should have all lined up and said, hey, let's go out to a steak dinner someplace and give us a lecture on how you were able to do that. But they don't.
They don't. But you know what? We're going to keep shouting it and let people know that there are options.
And people can make up their own minds.
Yes, they can make up their own minds, and we have people that are making up their own minds, Dr. Wallach. And let's go across the water. We're going to go across the water twice. First, let's go to Nissim. Hello, Nissim. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Becca, and hi, Dr. Wallach. Thanks for
Where are
taking
you
my
calling
question,
from?
which is,
Wait a minute, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, okay.
Yes, sir. My question is about vision. Can any of the supplements that you have correct, or is there anything which is specific to correct vision in terms of far sight and near sight?
Well, yeah, again, the I-26 deals with the the optic nerves in the brain where they're formed, in the eye itself. Okay, so there's the second cranial nerve is very important, and so we have occutive. Now you take the occutive with the 90 essential nutrients. If you take it by itself, it's like washing your car, and it runs out of gasoline and it won't go anywhere. Well, I washed my car, why won't it run? Okay, so you have to use the occutive and the Vision FX, the I-26, and then, of course, you want to stay away from all the bad foods.
Right. Does it help reverse a deteriorating eyesight?
Deteriorating eyesight is not difficult to reverse.
I see.
It wouldn't hurt to go to the eye doctor and get a status report. Where am I at now? Because I'm going to start taking some supplements to supplement my eyes. They'll laugh at you a little bit. That's okay. But find out where you're at for an examination. And then, well, when do I need to come back in? Well, here's what I want you to do. And I want you to come back in, say, in 30 days. You come back in 30 days. Well, you know, you haven't progressed. You haven't gotten worse. You haven't progressed to the bad. You've actually progressed a little bit to the good. So come back in 30 days. Well, now you're 25% better. Okay, that's how it's going to work.
I see. Thank you.
You bet. God bless you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Dr.
God bless you too.
Dr. Wallach, did you mention the Vision FX or the Occutive and helping with that as well? Because those are some important nutrients that help support the eye health.
Yeah, I believe I did Occutive and Vision FX. And don't forget the I-26.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you for that question, Nissim. And let's now go to Albert. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Albert.
Goeiemorgen.
Hi, goeienaand, dokter, hoe gaan dit?
Baie dankie. Baie goed.
Doc, yeah. Doctor, I have a question about how do we help somebody who's had their thyroid removed in terms of supplements that they would need to take, and then also the type of diet that they would need to follow besides getting off all the bad foods?
Okay, well, get off all the bad foods. Take the 90 essential nutrients, 1 per 100 pounds body weight. If they weigh 150 pounds, I go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs, a full dose twice a day. And then I would also, even though you say they remove the thyroid, I would still take the Ocean's Gold.
Okay.
I would still take the Ocean's Gold because there might be a little piece in there somewhere. Okay. And you want to make sure that they're getting all those 90 essential nutrients so their heart will work right, their blood pressure will be correct, their brain will be working. The I-26 is going to help that work. Okay. And so that's where they really got to take all these other supplements. Okay, if they've taken the thyroid out, because the thyroid is a big, big factor in our daily functioning and in health and longevity.
Correct.
Okay.
Thanks.
You bet.
Thank you, doctor.
Yes, sir.
Bless you for all you do.
Alles van die beste. Tot ziens.
Alles van die beste.
All right. Excellent. Thank you so much, Albert, for hopping on over across the multiple seas, oceans to be here with us. Now, Dr. Wallach, we have a couple more questions, and I just want to remind everybody, if you were recommended to this program by somebody specific, please get back with them. Let them know what you liked best or what you learned in this program. And chances are they're one of our amazing community members who are part of Dr. Wallach's crusade to save humanity and the world. They will help you be able to get the products that are needed to help support your body in reaching your health goals. And it's not the products. The products are not meant to take the place, or this show meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are they meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease, folks. But when you take the nutrients the body needs, and when you're we're talking to a man here who has almost 30,000 autopsies under his belt, and looking at dis-ease, looking at deficiencies from within the tissue that he's looking at. And when there's nutrients missing, it linked right back consistently to specific poor health conditions. So he came up with solutions, and the solutions that he's recommending are part of a company that many years ago he was one of the founders of, which he has removed himself from being on the board, being part of the ownership of. so that he can be here with us, sharing his research, because he makes his money off of the sale of his books, which you can get at drjwallach.com. That's DR like doctor, J, the letter, Wallach, WALLACH.com, where you'll find all of his publications. We are working, for those of you on the other sides outside of the continental US, we are working on ways of distribution so that you can get his books at an affordable rate as well. Right now, shipping is kind of out of this world, but we are working on that. But get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's no one to thank, feel free to go to our website, Daily with Doc, which is this .com, which is the sponsor of this program. Again, that's dailywithdoc.com. You'll find all the products that Dr. Wallach is recommending. And if you don't have a coach and you have never spoken to anybody about longevity or Dr. Wallach, I have an amazing team that you can reach out to either through our website using that contact option, or call our call team 855-949-3377. So Dr. Wallach, last question. We have a baby, she's 6 years old with type 1 diabetes. And I know type 2 is something that's usually an onset, but type 1, that comes from birth, right?
Well, type 1 is a birth defect. Mama was missing stuff in the early stages of pregnancy when the pancreas was forming the cells to make insulin and that kind of stuff. And so the baby's born with type 1 diabetes. That's why the doctors take umbilical cord blood samples to see if they have type 1 diabetes, because they want to know that immediately at birth. Okay. And it's manageable. Okay. It's manageable so that you can live to be 100 years old managing your type 1 diabetes. Okay. That's not a problem, but you need the 90 essential nutrients, you need all the other stuff. But you won't be able to completely get rid of it if it's true type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, I don't care when it is you get it, it's a reversible thing because it's a simple nutritional deficiency disease after you're born. So it's something it's not like a legacy. It's something that you can reverse by taking the 90 essential nutrients and the sweeties.
Okay. So what would you recommend for a 6-year-old who is 45 pounds?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, mama and daddy are looking to help their baby out to be the best they can be and not struggle so much?
Okay. Well, needs the 90 essential nutrients. Okay. And we have, let's see here.
Did Kids Toddy work on that to help with the 90 essential nutrients? The
Yeah.
Kids Toddy?
Yeah, let's go with that. The kids' toddy is basically a basic thing. And you read the label for the dosage for body weight. And then because there's a sugar issue, you want to get the sweeties, okay, and grind up one sweeties tablet.
Or you can open the capsule and mix it in.
Okay.
That
And
works.
put that in some applesauce and give it to the baby. Start out with a half a capsule and see how that works. And
Take that, Doc.
I'm sorry?
When should they take that? With a meal, before a meal, when they first wake?
I would take it in the morning, say, before breakfast, maybe 15 minutes before breakfast.
Okay. Okay. And how about essential fatty acids?
Essential fatty acids goes with the 90 essential nutrients. And of course, essential fatty acids, excuse me, we have the EFAs, EFA pluses and all that kind of stuff. And they're soft gel capsules with essential fatty acids in there. And kids like to chew them up and so forth. And also, again, the sweeties, even though they have type 1, I'd still give them the sweeties, but that's going to help a little bit. We just don't know if it's a type 1 because there's 10% of the pancreas damage, or 50% of the pancreas damage, or 95% of the pancreas damage. The only way we
Right.
can tell that is to do a biopsy. And maybe they did. Did they do it? Ask parents, did they do a biopsy? Do we know what percentage of the pancreas is damaged, or, where are we at here? And so that'll help, that information. But you can manage type 1 diabetes with the 90 essential nutrients, okay, which is the kids' toddy, and also the sweeties. And
You still have to make sure you're paying attention to the food that they're eating too. You can't just take a pill and to control blood sugar and then go and eat cake, candy, and donuts, right?
oh no, you have to, yeah, you still have to manage the diet if somebody's a diabetic, regardless of age. Okay, you have to stay away from, again, the sugar. Okay, wheat,
Mhm.
butter, rye, and oats, and buckwheat, and sugar, carbonated drinks, and we do have energy drinks that don't have sugar or carbonation in them. Okay, the Rebound, maybe a little
So
sugar in the Rebound, but it's one of those things where if you're taking the sweeties, you can take just a little bit of sugar. Okay.
all right. Well, thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. We are at the top of the hour. And I know that there was another hand up. I don't know if it's still up or what, but you've got to get going on to your next program. We thank you so much for being here with us on Daily with Doc.
Well,
You
thank you
are
and your
awesome,
team.
Doc.
Thank you and your team for arranging such a great show today. It was, I think we helped a lot of people. Thank you.
Yes, I think so as well. And if I could get my team up on the screen with me, we could not do this without them, Dr. Wallach. So with all that we do to help others, and that's something that's part of my heart, Dr. Wallach, is to be able to have a resource that helps others help others.
Well, thank you
So
for that. And I say you're successful. You and your team are quite successful.
yeah, and it's not all about money. Yes, we get thank you checks for sharing the message, Dr. Wallach. But taking the time and helping you get this message out. And I'm going to say this because I've been attacked a few times. I love you all. I don't do this because I'm making lots of money. I'm doing this because the message has to be heard. And my own business has benefited because I'm surrounding myself with wonderful people. But Doc, when somebody says I have a huge business because I work with you, is totally incorrect, because I spend more time helping other people build their own businesses. And it's not just about building business, but building lives so they can enjoy them today and tomorrow.
Well, you do a fabulous job, and I can't thank you enough. And let's train as many people as we can to do what you do.
Yes, and what I do can be done by many and all. So folks, if you have talents that you would like to contribute to a team to help get the message out, there are so many different avenues that you yourself can take, or you can work together with a team to put it out there so people can find it. Get back with the person that shared this program with you. If you found this program on your own, we welcome you into our own family here within the Longevity members and the families. You can go with dailywithdoc.com, use that contact option, or you can even go info@dailywithdoc.com, and we'll get information to you about how you also can be part of a team, helping yourself, helping your family, helping your community. And with all of us working together and doing that, we're going to help change the world. I have on with me today, we have Marilyn, who, she just has amazing typing skills as she's doing transcription of what is being said in the program. each and every day. She's very consistent, unless there's a computer issue, which we all get to experience once in a while. She is here and putting that information into the chat. And that's something that's available only for those who join us here in the Zoom, Wednesday through Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So Marilyn, thank you so much for doing that. You're a great asset to this program for sure. We have Albert, who, if he didn't let you guys in the room and I'm in the middle of talking and my other people are doing what they do, you couldn't be in the room with us. So Albert, thank you so much for being here, helping let people in, keeping an eye on the chat, on the Zoom room and the cameras. Thank you. And we have Ruth Ellen, who is back with us today, who is my executive producer, who helps to keep us all in line with that whip. And thank you, Ruth Ellen, for doing that. And AJ, who is our assistant to the executive production manager, who has been very instrumental in getting us out on the different platforms. And we want to know what platform you are watching us on. So send us a message, send us some love, subscribe, share. You know, the message is here and you heard it for a reason. Share it with somebody else. But thank you so much, AJ, for helping us get out on all the different platforms, even on TV. So if you are Apple TV, Roku TV, Fire TV, you can look up Daily with Doc. I think we had one more thing we had to do for Fire TV, and then we'll be on there as well. But we want to make sure that the message is being heard where people are around the world, because this is not just something that stays within the borders of a certain state, certain country. Nutritional deficiencies affect the world, and you can be part of the solution. So folks, thank you for joining us. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am honored to be the hostess of Daily with Doc and Becca. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. Oh, before I go, hold on. So the Institute of Holistic Health has a certified holistic health coach program. So if you ever wanted to learn more about health and how the 4 areas of health are affected by nutritional deficiencies, and then solutions and how to correct those deficiencies, but going more than just nutrition, looking at the body as a whole, the Institute of Holistic Health is having an information meeting, and this is going to be every other Thursday. So make sure that you're connected with us so that you get information on how to access these information meetings. And for those that are in attendance of these meetings, which we have one today, this is the 21st of March, at 2 o'clock Pacific time, go to iwhzoom.com. You can get some more information. Let them know Becca sent you, and you will get 50% off. So make sure that you reach out to dailywithdoc.com. Let us know that you're going to be there so we can make sure that you get that 50% off. And that also includes on the payment plans. So we're going from, was it $750 for the course to now half of that? And then you can do payment plans. Folks, it's so much worth the investment, even when it was full price. And we invite you to learn as well. Now, until next time, bye for now. Bye.